Let's talk about when should you report harassment. And that's wherever you sit, whether it is the person who may be being harassed or if you're observing what may be harassment. My answer to that is really in two parts. The first part is that's the wrong question to be asking. I'll explain that more, but asking that question may cause situations not to get resolved at a level where it's easiest to resolve them. So the answer to the question is you want to address workplace situations that make the workplace less than optimal, whether it's due to quote-unquote harassment or something like it or something unrelated, at the earliest possible stage. So why should you not focus on is it harassment or not? The reason for that is that courts have technically defined harassment as conduct that is severe and pervasive. So that's a term that is inherently somewhat gray. The idea is, and the idea makes sense, is that, listen, not just one mildly inappropriate comment where there was a misunderstanding, that doesn't constitute illegal harassment. So as the courts address particular, more complicated situations, they say sometimes things are harassment, sometimes things are not harassment. And I will say, and I'm somebody who represents employers, that some of the conduct that courts find is not technically harassment is conduct that the employer, your employer, does not want going on in the workplace. So if we stop to figure out, is this technically harassment or not, there may be conduct that we want to address in the workplace that we don't have an opportunity to address if we're trying to filter whether it's harassment or not. Also, don't think, gee, I know the company's got an obligation to investigate reports of harassment. I don't think the situation I've got warrants an investigation, and you've got a picture of what an investigation includes and a level of formality and severity and process. The company is able to address smaller problems with smaller solutions. Not every situation that's reported requires what you may think of as a full-blown investigation. As I say, some of these may not even be legal situations. It's just a good practice, good management practice for the company to be able to address things that cause the workplace not to be the place where somebody can perform at his or her best. So whether it's addressing a situation yourself that's a minor situation that you're comfortable addressing, whether it's going to HR or going to management, don't put up with something just because you think it may not be harassment under the law.